In the step ups level 3 exercise, you're now going to be not touching the ground with the non-support side and then coming up, going into 90 degrees of hip flexion with the non-support side on the end of the concentric action, and again on the end of the eccentric action. You're not going to touch down, almost similar to a single leg squat, and then coming back up into 90 degrees of hip flexion. Matt, go ahead and rest. So let me break this down for you. So first of all, you're not going to probably be doing this in the middle of the desert on a rock, probably be doing this in the gym. For most people, you're going to use a 12-inch step or a 12-inch box, so 12 inches elevation from the ground. If you're really tall like Matt is here, then you can be doing like up to 18 inches step up. So what you want is you first want your foot to be forward, directly pointing forward. What is forward? Forward from the pelvis, so we have arrows pointing off from Matt's pelvis and then arrows pointing off from his shoulders. Everything's pointing directly forward in the same direction. Next, very, very, very important, patella tendon in line with the second and third toe, just like a bullseye in a gun, should be perfectly in a line. Next, you should have the acetabulum or hip joint directly in line with the patella tendon. Next, from a sagittal plane view, so looking at it from this direction, we're going to keep that pelvis in a neutral position, and throughout we're going to keep the spine aligned, which would be slight lordotic curve in the lumbar spine, slight kyphotic curve in the thoracic spine, but mostly just straight there, slight lordotic curve in the cervical spine, ear centered over the shoulder. So maintain all of those things you just learned from the foot up to the head while doing the step up. So in the step up, you're of course going to start from the floor, but once you start to ascend in your first rep, again, you're going to bring the hip up to 90 degrees of hip flexion and then maintain that position. Bring this leg back down, but not touching, still staying on top of the step. This knee will stay at about a 10-degree bend while you're on top of the step. Don't fully extend it. Then come all the way to where just before the toes are going to touch the ground, about 2 inches off, and then come back into it. And that's the way you do step up level 3.